Theory 4. Mother-Sun, Chima's deity. We touched on this in the hints, but let's treat it as its own theory. Mother-Sun, the celestial entity from the Legends of Chima universe, is proposed by some to be Ra's master. The idea here is that the merge brought in the Mother-Sun, and perhaps the Chima realm's remnants, into the picture. As a high-level realm entity, analogous to the preeminent, Mother-Sun would naturally be as powerful as a source dragon, if not more. She's associated with creating land and life in Chima lore, and appears as a literal sun in the sky. If Mother-Sun lost her children, the Chima tribes, or her realm through the merge, she might desire to restore her world or simply seize control over the new merged one. Ra's, being from the wildness Chima realm, he certainly looks like he could be, would give them a personal connection. He might revere Mother-Sun as a goddess of his homeland. This theory explains the ways of strength as possibly a creed from the wild realms, and why Ra's might care about the merge's undoing. If the merge devastated his original world, he'd want to help reverse it. It also accounts for why obscure knowledge like the blood moon ritual exists. A being as old as Mother-Sun would know ancient magic that others forgot. Additionally, Mother-Sun is not a source dragon, which matches the vibe that Ra's master is something different. It's one of the few entities that could be on par with source dragons. What evidence supports this? The main evidence is thematic and cross-canon rather than explicit in Dragon's Rising. The golden glow saving Ra's could be Mother-Sun's light. The term celestial fits perfectly for a sun goddess. And if you consider that we have had crossovers, the realm of Chima was actually glimpsed back in Ninjago Season 5 and in a recent Dragon's Rising short IIRC, it's not outlandish. In fact, Dragon's Rising is all about merging realms, so bringing in a major element from a different LEGO franchise, Chima, as a villain would be a bold move to show the consequences of the merge. On the flip side, a challenge with this theory is that new viewers who haven't seen Chima might not appreciate the reveal unless it's well explained in story. The writers would have to introduce Mother-Sun's backstory within Dragon's Rising to make this land emotionally. However, because the show already expects viewers to keep up with a lot of lore, it could be done. A line or two explaining she was worshipped as the Mother-Sun in another realm would do the trick. In summary, Mother-Sun as Ra's master is a theory that bridges two worlds. It's speculative, but enticing, and if LEGO wanted to give a nod to Chima and integrate its lore, this would be a dramatic way to do it. For now, it remains a dark horse theory, not as widely accepted as the source dragon idea, but definitely worth keeping an eye on. Theory 5. A brand new villain, celestial being. Of course, there's always the possibility that Ra's master is someone entirely new that we haven't seen in Ninjago or any related media before. Dragon's Rising introduced new concepts like the merge, new villains like Empress Beatrix, and new heroes. It could likewise introduce a brand new ultimate antagonist. This being could be, say, the manifestation of the merge, a cosmic error taking form, or an Oni-dragon hybrid deity beyond those we know, or something like the Administrator, a mysterious figure mentioned in the show that monitors realms. Fans have tossed around the term Source Oni as well. The idea of an Oni, creatures of darkness from old Ninjago, that might be equivalent in power to the Source dragons. If some dark god caused the merge, perhaps Ra's master is that culprit, now trying to reshape things again. The honest truth is, we don't have a name or face, so the writers have room to surprise us with an original creation. They could pull elements from various inspirations, mythology, previous hints, etc., to craft a new villain who will be revealed in Season 4. If that's the case, all the clues like Celestial, Cauldron of Realms, and extreme power level might simply be building up this new character's mystique so that the reveal lands with proper weight. While less fun to theorize, since completely new character can be anything, this is definitely possible. Given all these theories, which seems most likely, right now, the frontrunners in fan discussions are the Rogue Source Dragon balance theory and the Mother-Sun theory, because they align closely with the clues and have interesting story potential. The Overlord and FSM ideas are more of long-shot twists that would tie into older lore. They'd be thrilling for veteran fans, but might be harder to integrate smoothly. An entirely new villain is always on the table, but as viewers, we love to guess using existing lore. One thing is certain, Season 4 has a lot of questions to answer, and Ra's master sits at the top of that list. The writers have been quite intentional about seeding mystery. For example, the whole Forbidden 5 subplot, the missing characters like Wu, the merge explanation, and saving the big payoff for later. It's very likely that Season 4 will finally unveil Ra's master, or at least bring them into the fray directly. After all, Ra's himself can only go so far. At some point, the true villain needs to step forward. Now let's talk about Season 4 specifically. Assuming Season 4 is in the works, or upcoming, what can we expect regarding Ra's master and the broader story? Here are our predictions and possibilities. Ra's master revealed. Season 4 will almost certainly pull back the veil on who Ra's master is. The story has built up to this moment. All the foreshadowing demands a payoff. We predict an actual on-screen appearance of the master, whether it's in a physical form or a dramatic reveal of their identity. Perhaps the season will climax with Ra's successfully summoning or freeing his master into the mortal world, a moment that could serve as the rise of the final boss. Alternatively, the ninja might proactively discover the master's identity by traveling to the Cauldron of Realms or uncovering ancient knowledge. Either way, expect an episode where the audience and the heroes finally see the mastermind. The reveal could happen mid-season as a twist, or in the finale as a cliffhanger leading to a potential Season 5 conflict. Given the current pacing, a mid to late Season 4 reveal seems plausible, allowing time to then deal with the consequences. Raz's story. Reaching climax. Raz himself is likely to reach a turning point. Season 4 might see Raz either achieve his purpose or face defeat. One scenario, Raz manages to gather all he needs, the 7 Source Dragon's energy via the icons and rituals, and in doing so, fulfills the requirements to bring his master forth. This could mean Raz wins the Tournament of the Sources, a contest implied to decide control over the dragons, thereby handing the power to his master. If that occurs mid-season, Raz might then become secondary as his master takes center stage. Alternatively, Raz could fail one final time, and in frustration, the master appears personally to intervene. Never a good sign for the bad guys. If you want something done right, do it yourself. There's also a possibility of a redemption or tragedy for Raz. Sometimes Ninjago villains see the error of their ways or turn against their greater evil bosses. If Raz learns he's been merely used, he might rebel against his master. It would be quite poetic if the student realizes the master is going too far. Though, given Raz's characterization, a redemption seems unlikely unless something profoundly shakes his faith. The final battle, Ninja versus a celestial being. However it happens, we anticipate an epic confrontation involving Raz's master in Season 4. The ninja and their allies, Eren, Sora, Lloyd's team, etc., will probably have to face this being who possibly wields multiple elemental powers if they gathered Source Dragon energy. Imagine our heroes fighting a godlike dragon, or a sun deity raining fire, or an embodiment of the merge itself warping reality around them. This could be on a scale we haven't seen since the likes of the Oni, or the Preeminent in previous series. It's the kind of high-stakes battle that could require all the ninja, new and old, to unite. We might also see the Source Dragons themselves get involved. If one of their own turned evil, balance or strength, the remaining dragons might aid the ninja, or at least coordinate to stop the traitor. Season 3 showed Lloyd forming a connection with the Motion Dragon and others, so Season 4 could bring the dragons and ninja together against a common foe. It would be an amazing spectacle. Elemental Masters and Elemental Dragons side by side in battle, reversing the merge. Will it happen? A critical plot point is whether Raz's master succeeds in attempting to reverse or further manipulate the merge. If Season 4's villain actually initiates a merge reversal, we could see reality itself starting to split or fall apart. This could lead to some wild scenarios, locations flickering between different realms, characters being flung back to separated worlds, or ghostly echoes of the pre-merge realms appearing. The ninja might have to stop a doomsday machine or ritual that is undoing reality. Alternatively, Season 4 might end with a partial success. Maybe some realms do separate, creating new chaos that sets up future stories. It's hard to imagine the show completely undoing the merge, since the merged world is the core setting of Dragons Rising, but a temporary or localized reversal could happen as a demonstration of the Master's power. The hero's goal will clearly be to prevent this catastrophe, preserving the merged realm, or at least stopping the villain from seizing control in the process. Other plot threads. Tied in. Ninjago seasons tend to tie up multiple story threads in their finales. Ross's master reveal could connect with other unanswered questions. What happened to Master Wu? He went missing around the merge event. Could he have encountered this celestial being? The whereabouts of Garmadon, or other legacy characters. Sometimes big villains connect to them. Arin's parents, who vanished through a portal, possibly to the Realm of Light, or Li. If the Master is related to realms, maybe Arin's family disappearance links to that larger plot. The Forbidden Five's fate. If some of them, like Noct and Rox, are still around, they might play a role, perhaps even reluctantly teaming up with Ninja if the Master threatens everyone. After all, Ras's Master was ready to crush them if they disobeyed, so they have no love for the Master either. The Merge Quakes / merge-related phenomena. Any remaining effects of the merge could escalate if the villain tampers with reality again. In terms of tone and scale, Season 4 will likely be the most intense chapter yet of Dragons Rising. If Seasons 1 through 3 built the mystery and set the pieces, Season 4 is where it all comes to a head. We should be prepared for possibly a multi-part finale with huge revelations. Will the ninja triumph? Of course, this is Ninjago, but the journey to victory could come at a cost. Don't be surprised if there's an emotional moment like Raz facing retribution from his master, or a heroic sacrifice from one of our characters to stop the merge from being undone. The title of our video asks, Raz's Master revealed? By the end of Season 4, we expect to change that question mark to an exclamation point. Lord Raz's Master has been the puppet master in the shadows, the unanswered riddle driving much of the conflict in Ninjago, Dragons Rising. Through careful storytelling, we've come to learn that this being is a celestial powerhouse with an intricate plan spanning realms and dragons, truly one of Ninjago's most formidable foes even before fully stepping on stage. From Ross's unwavering loyalty and fear to ancient rituals and cosmic locales, everything points to a villain unlike any the ninja have faced before. As we eagerly await Season 4, the pieces are in place for an epic reveal. Whether Ross's master turns out to be a corrupted source dragon plotting against its own kin, a wrathful deity from another realm like Mother Sun seeking dominion, or some other legendary figure, the revelation will undoubtedly reshape our understanding of the Dragons Rising storyline. The merged realms themselves hang in the balance. Literally, if the villain's aim to undo the merge comes close to fruition. For now, we've armed ourselves with information. Every hint from the show, every scrap of lore from LEGO, and the best fan theories out there. Speculation can only take us so far. Soon, the show will give us answers. One thing's for sure. When Ross's master finally steps into the light, it will be a game-changing moment for Ninjago. So, will Season 4 finally reveal the true identity of Ross's master? All signs point to yes. And when that moment comes, we'll be ready, having followed the trail of clues to this climactic point. It's an exciting time to be a Ninjago fan, as the new series pushes into uncharted territory with its lore and characters. Until then, stay sharp, keep those theories coming, responsibly, and as always, Ninja never quit. The truth about Ross's master is out there, and we're on the verge of seeing it with our own eyes. Thanks for watching, and let's look forward to the Dragons Rising adventures ahead.